name's Melody Pendlebury. I am a elementary school teacher in Jacksonville, Florida. I have published my third children's book, which is Robin Hound. My other two books are Short and Stubby Wins the Race and The Prince and the Pupper, and they're all about my corgi Gatsby. I started writing books because of my children, and I just wanted to bring my stories to life for them, and also I just want to encourage my children that if they want to be a writer, anything is possible, and whatever they dream, they can accomplish. So I'm going to start reading my book, Robin Hound, with Gatsby. You can't turn it around. Oh, okay. Okay. So Robin Hound, I have my husband, Dylan, helping me with the tripod. Okay. So Robin Hound by Melody Pendlebury. So the first part, it says, a portion of all proceeds will be donated to the Jacksonville Humane Society. To find out more ways to help, visit jacksonvillehumane.org. And a special thanks to my editors, Corey Cognally and Joseph Genuardi Sr., which is my sister and my grandpa. This is a story of a dog named Gatsby who had a heart of gold. His tale is one of bravery, the most courageous ever told. He was a fairly ordinary dog, but was kinder than most. He lived with his owner named Trudy, and the two were very close. This story begins on a normal day with a very normal walk. Suddenly, Gatsby noticed something strange in an alley down the block. While Trudy stopped to chit-chat with someone she had met last week, Gatsby knew this was his chance to sneak off and really take a peek. The alley was dark and musty, with towers of trash all around. Gatsby searched and stayed focused. He knew what he saw would soon be found. Just when he was about to give up, his nose brought him to a pile of trash. After closer inspection, a small tail started to thrash. Gatsby flipped open a discarded box, and there, to his surprise, he found a scraggly dog, and they were about the same size. "What are you doing here?" said Gatsby. "This is not a place for a pet. Won't your owner wonder where you are and start to get upset?" "I have never had an owner," the dog finally spoke up. "I live in this alley. I have always been a stray pup." Suddenly, dogs and cats came out of the trash from every which way. They were all so skinny and dirty, Gatsby didn't know what to say. He asked, "Is there any—" Gatsby felt sad. He wanted to help, but he didn't know how. He asked, "Is there anything I can do to help you all now?" One of the dogs said, "We are all very hungry. There's never enough to eat. We always have a hard time finding enough food while living on the street." Gatsby's mind was made up. He knew he needed to help in some way. He decided he would go home and bring some food back that same day. When Gatsby caught up with Trudy, she didn't even notice he was gone. As they walked home, he thought of his plan to get back to the alley before dawn. That same night, Gatsby waited patiently for Trudy to fall asleep. Once she finally did, he searched their cupboard without making a peep. He searched and he searched, but he couldn't find enough food for the strays. He needed to find a lot of food fast and without any delays. Gatsby wasn't one to give up. He knew he needed to keep trying. He paced around the apartment until his eyes caught the laundry drying. There on the clothesline, Gatsby saw his Halloween costume from last year. It was a Robin Hood outfit. His new plan became crystal clear. If he dressed up in this costume, no one would realize he was a pet. He could sneak out to the store. It was such a good plan, he didn't even sweat. "Did you see that dog?" "Huh?" Him going very unnoticed. Gatsby successfully got to the pet store without being stopped. But when he pushed on the door to get in, he realized they were locked. Gatsby stomped his feet and said, "I will not be stopped after coming this far." He trotted to the back of the building and saw the door was slightly ajar. He made his way in and found a wagon that was easy for him to push. He strode down the aisles and threw in all the pet food he could possibly squish. He made his way out of the store and with his loot and hurried to the strays. But when he turned the corner, he saw two large men blocking his way. Gatsby hid behind the trash can and tried to see who the men could be. He saw that they worked for the pound, and they locked a dog crate with a key. The men walked away with the crate back to their truck and drove off out of sight. Gatsby called to the strays and hoped they hadn't run off in their fright. Suddenly, all the strays began to emerge with tears in their eyes. One dog spoke up. "We are so scared of being taken by those guys." Gatsby knew it was better for the strays to be taken from the street, but they didn't realize that they would be safe and have something to eat. They feared being taken and didn't know where they would go. They'd rather stay in the alley and be hungry because that's all they know. Gatsby suddenly realized the strays didn't just need something to eat. He needed to find them family so they could feel safe and be off the street. He decided Gatsby the ordinary corgi would be no more. He needed to become the hero to help the dogs so poor. Robin Hound would be his new identity. Saving the strays would be his creed. He would help the strays clean themselves up so they could find the homes that they need. That next night, Gatsby knew what he needed to do. Not only did he need food, but brushes and shampoo. He snuck off to the store in his trusty disguise, and he found the front door was open, much to his surprise. He walked straight through the entrance and nodded to the man at the front, but Gatsby didn't have time to chit-chat and continued his hunt. He returned to the alley with his loot and began to make a speech. "Today, not only will you be full, but we will find a home for each." He got to work making sure all the animals were washed, brushed, and fluffed. He gave them snazzy new haircuts that made their fur look especially puffed. Gatsby had all the animals assist him in making a flashy sign. In big red letters it read, "Animal adoption today, get in line." He dragged it out to the edge of a busy, bustling grocery store. He put the animals in front, making them impossible to ignore. The sun slowly began to rise. They had worked all through the night. The strays sat up straight in their spots and shined their smiles so bright. Gatsby hid behind a corner and watched as people started to crowd his friends. The adoption was a big hit. The line of people seemed to never end. One by one, every dog and cat was picked up and cuddled tight. They had found new homes and would have comfy beds to sleep in at night. After not much time at all, the crowd was finally gone. Robin Hound's mission was complete, and he let out a yawn. Just as Gatsby was about to head home, he heard a loud sigh. He looked behind the sign and saw an eye. The dog had gone unnoticed, and no one had taken him as their pet. He was oh so sad and cried until his face was all wet. Robin Hound couldn't just leave this poor pup to fend for his own. He decided to take him home so he wouldn't be so alone. "Hey there, little buddy, stop your crying. You're coming home with me. I've got the perfect place for you to live with a girl named Trudy." The pup was so excited, the two started home in a hurry. When they arrived at the door, Trudy's face was one of worry. She didn't know what to do with Gatsby missing all day, but when she saw his new friend, she knew just what to say. "Did you run off in your costume to bring back this pup? He looks pretty rough and like he needs a pick-me-up." She just picked him up. She picked up the stray and cuddled him real tight. "I guess it couldn't hurt if he stays for the night." That night turned into a week, which turned into a year. The pup, who they call Pokey, now lived a life full of cheer. Robin Hound, the hero, had found him a forever home, and now he had a best friend and was never alone. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for all being here and listening to me read the book. If you have any questions about anything or any suggestions or anything, you can always message me on my Facebook or email me at melodypendleberry@gmail.com. Thank you guys. Bye.